I really feel this call to step up and share what I've been learning on my journey about keeping my heart open. It has been a literal journey, and I've observed this part of humanity, that this part of who we are, warriors. We hear it all the time. We use this terminology of war on a constant basis. And what I've been learning about this is calling in this new part of myself, right? This part of me that has always been there, that peaceful being that I am, and resting that warrior of who I've been. And this has big time served me in romantic partnership, big time. I could tell I wasn't even able to enter into partnership till I was ready to open my heart up, because I kept meeting these men in resistance. I was guarded. I was ready to put up my defenses. And that does not serve when you want to be in flow in life and when you desire this more peaceful way of being, which in my observation is deeply connected to preparing the conditions of the soil, if you will, the body that we are, to be ready to open up our DNA and all of its capabilities. Are you ready to open up your capabilities, healers? Because we're here for that. It's awesome. And so through this, right, less survival mode, less being in the fight, far more dipping into, if you will, of the scales, dipping more into that peace mode. I know people talk about thriving versus survival. What I'm observing is this really beautiful, you either are in survival mode, and there's layers to that bitch. Let me tell you, been there, done that. And there are moments I still dip into that for sure. And I'm finding that there is something called peace mode. And this prepares the body to heal itself at levels we are only now going to remember again. Round 132, but whatever. It's just beautiful. We're in this human experience. We come to play this game. It's super fun in my observation, right? From my fucking point of view. I don't care how it's described, right? But I just share with you this fun way of looking at life because it turns it into this more I get to take responsibility for my sovereignty. I get to step into my sovereignty as queen, be responsible for what is before me. And then I get to observe these ways in which we get to interact as humans. And it's incredible because this open-hearted approach I keep learning about, there's another part to that I'll share with you too that has to do with open-handedness. And I've been talking about this for years, but I had not, I've understood, right? We have a knowing of being open-hearted, but do we have the actual practices that show us we've embodied it? And that's where I'm beginning to see that I actually see that fruit. And I see my body being more in this peace mode that's allowing me to have these deep, beautiful connections with human beings. All of them, where, yes, bitch still gets triggered by her mother, still in that process, but far less so. And with my partner, I'm sure we have a lot to learn still. We've only been together for over a year, and it's beautiful to watch us in a whole year cycle. And I'm excited to see what's next. But this has been impactful because if I do not choose to keep my heart open, I will constantly be on guard, right? In defense mode, ready to fight, feel like I have to stand up for myself. And I'm telling you, this is what I'm learning. So let's start with this. As I've been reverse engineering my experience, the first thing I began to notice was we call ourselves empaths often, right? We're like, oh, I've been dealing with a narcissist and I'm empathic. And it's like a beautiful reminder. We're all of it. We narcissists, baby. We empath. How much are you dipping into that narcissism of the scales, right? And how much are you dipping into that empathy? Because if you're going to dip so far into that, you're still going to be a victim to that, baby. If you feel you are so empathetic, you will literally be the hero that sacrifices themselves over and over and over again, and ultimately you are only being your own masochist. You know, like you are putting yourself through the suffering. So when will you dip slightly into the narcissism, right? So you take care of yourself, right? And still take care of others. And so I share this because as we learn to balance these things, we step back into this place of being centered. And in that place of centeredness, it's a place that feels more grounded, like you are humble means to be to the ground. And I find it super supportive for relationships. So when you begin to realize that as an empath, you still get to take responsibility for your body and what you're feeling and how to manage those feelings so they are not overwhelming for you, then you can really beautifully weave and dance with others, whether those are business partners, romantic partners, or some of your best friends. And so, yeah, I have a lot to say on this subject, and I can go 50,000 different directions, but the whole reason I'm bringing this part about is because this part of you that's beginning to recognize, like, how do I maintain my empathetic state of being and be able to use the narcissism to support me at whatever level it gets to, right? What happens is, this is the thing I've noticed has been a great heart opener, a great starting point for heart opening. And it's a practice, and it's literally recognizing that I get to accept that others are in their perfectly imperfect process. So whatever they're moving through, I get to let them be in that. I get to be in acceptance of that. This is where they are in that moment. So while I've been with my partner, there have been times he's been all up in his head, thinking about things, and I get to let him be in that. It's fine, you know, like when he's ready to come, he'll come, and yeah, I could feel it. Cool, I recognize it. I'd be like, okay, cool, that's you, that's yours, you're working on that, and I know you'll come to me when you're ready. So, you know, I go, he comes home from work, I go, and then I do my thing, like blow him a kiss, right, do my thing, and then he comes when he's ready to, right, like meet me. Once he's done what he's needed to focus in on himself and figure out what it is that's bothering him, or whatever energy he's carrying from that day, from work or whatever, great. And so this has been a massive practice. It's just like letting and accepting people be in their process, right? So any moment in which I'm sick, for example, here's another great one. Like I've been sick, over the toilet, right? Sick. And he's just right there and supportive of me. That's beautiful. He's allowing me to be in my process, right? He's not going to try to stop me. And it's funny because we do this often with emotions. We forget that our partners, our people, our loved ones, our children, even our babies, we do this. We stop them in their process because we don't want to hear their process, or we feel uncomfortable with their process. We're like, oh God, stop, please. Stop crying. Oh God, stop, right? Stop whatever it is. Stop being angry. Stop all your, right? We get to let them be in their process. There are ways that are healthier than others to be in the process. But I'm talking about just allowing people in their emotional state to be in their emotional state, to be up in their head, to be wherever it is, putting aside that next level massive imbalance of being so far dipped into the narcissism you don't even know how to even communicate with others. Another story. But talking about just most of us in general are moving through this, our different experiences in that moment. So I share this because I want this to be a part one. I'm going to share more things that have supported me in maintaining my heart to be open. Practices that I find, I'm telling you, have allowed me to create beautiful business partnerships, beautiful romantic partnership, and even a more open-hearted approach with my family. Yeah, so I'm really excited to share this with you guys. Thank you for letting me. I am Authentic Lourdes. You could check out my website down below. And yeah, on this channel, I love sharing pick-a cards and sharing things that are like just literally coming through. I just feel so deeply like I am your mirror. I am here. I'm a witch. I love to share with us the things I'm observing and learning. And I feel like I am constantly learning from humanity. It's this constant practice that is that I am in. And so I love it. And I love to observe myself and see where I show up differently in the world than many people I've seen. Because many people come to me and we talk about these things and we work through them. And I'm here to support with that in this moment. And so I care to. So yeah, thank you for allowing me. Ciao.